Hello, thank you for being in a new video. This time we have an unboxing of this one, which is a computer that we can really consider value for money. This is the new edition of the ThunderRobot Zero. Let's get started. In the description, I'm going to leave you the link to the official ThunderRobot store in Mercado Libre. So, if you are in Mexico, it is quite easy to get it because you don't have to import it from China or something like that. And it really seems like a very attractive proposition to me. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know that I used the last generation for a long time to be producing all these videos. And really, the experience has been very good. Not perfect, but very good. So we're going to take the contents out of the box to see what's included, and we're going to do some very quick, simple tests on it. I'm going to make a cut here, a cut on the other side, and finally the top cut, so that it finally lets us have access. This model comes with NVIDIA 4060 graphics and the 13th generation Intel Core i9 processor. So, we are definitely in front of a very powerful computer in specifications and whose price does not correspond to that level of specifications. Since in more known brands, we will find prices that could easily reach double what this machine costs. So, let's see what comes here in the box. We're going to come right up against the computer. Let's take it out. It comes with a little bag-like protection, and in this case, it's the gray edition. Over here it says Zero, which is the model, although it also looks to me like there's already an Ultra model. So, within the ThunderRobot Zero, you are also going to find different configurations of RAM, storage, and more. That's why I'm going to tell you in a moment which is the specific version that I'm going to be analyzing. So watch, I'm going to open it up. Here's another protection that's included, and it honestly looks like a well-built computer. Although the bottom is plastic, and in fact the lid is plastic as well. So it doesn't stand out in terms of materials, but it's definitely going to give us a very good performance. Let me turn it on, and while it's turning on, let's see what else comes in the box. So, we're going to find its charger, which, as you may already know, is pretty big. This is one of the points that I don't like so much about these gamer computers, but most computers of this style come with very large chargers. So this is your case. At one end is the connector that goes to the computer, and at the other end you plug in the cable that goes to the power. Finally, on the right side we are going to find the other end of the cable that we needed for power, and curiously we have a little bag with screws. I don't know why this is included, but I find it very curious. That's basically all that comes in the box. As you can see, it's a simple box without a lot of add-ons. So now let's take a look at the computer. We've got the computer ready here. Let's take a quick tour of the main specifications. Since we're going to find a 16-inch screen, it's a fairly large screen with an anti-glare finish. And since it's a very gamers-focused display, we have a 165 Hz refresh rate. It's an IPS panel with a 16:10 ratio. It comes with a 1 TB solid-state storage with 2 partitions. In RAM, we will find 32 GB. The processor is an Intel Core i9 of the 13th generation. The GPU is the GeForce RTX 4060 laptop, in addition, obviously, to the integrated Intel processor graphics. Something I like is that the keyboard does bring the letter NIN. If you buy it at Mercado Libre de Mexico, it is a very positive point. And you know that these computers come with a pretty powerful cooling. We have very extensive vents. Over here, 2 USB-A ports. In fact, with this button, we can enable the fan to start blowing at maximum possible power. On the other side, we're going to have headphone jack and microphone. We also have here another USB-A port. And on the back we have the rest of the connectors plus the traditional RGB lights. In the review I'll tell you a lot more details regarding this whole computer, but for now let's run a benchmark. This benchmark we have run on several computers, so I think it can give us a good reference of the power. In this case, the computer is unplugged from the power. After this first test, we're going to plug it in and run it again, and that's it, we have the result here. It's 1,444 points overall, 307 points on CPU, and 522 points on GPU. Now I'm going to plug this computer in, and we're going to test how it does. Bring up a control center application, and here we're going to set the high performance profile. We're going to turn the fan on max as well, and it's time to run a new test. I'll come back when it's done. It's done, and the improvement is brutal. Definitely when it's plugged in, you're going to have maximum performance, but also remember I enabled this high performance mode and turned on the fan, which by the way is pretty noisy, but the performance is definitely worth it. We got 4,330 points overall. In CPU it went up to 2,798, and in GPU 771. It's definitely a very powerful machine, although I find it curious that in GPU this time it didn't score as high compared to last generation, which gave me more points. Although I think this benchmark has changed slightly because I hadn't seen it run a render before. Now I did see it ran a render, but either way remember these numbers are for reference only. The real test we will see in the review when we get into video editing, gaming and other tests that will definitely push this rig to the limit. For the moment we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us, and we'll see you next time.